The storm desk. Read the storm, book the roofs. It's the slow month. The phone's quiet. Half your crew's laid off until spring, and you keep telling yourself you'll fix the sloppy stuff later. Then April hits, the schedule fills overnight, and the same field calls start. The deck in question nobody wrote down. The packet missing the gate code. By the end of this, you'll know how to run 4 focused weeks that beat a fat binder nobody opens. 5 moves, in order, built from your own jobs. Training won't guarantee 0 callbacks or a fixed jump in installs. It shrinks the improvising when the volume returns. Start with timing, because the off-season is the only window this happens in. In-season, training is a luxury you keep promising yourself. The phone rings, a crew's a man short, a supplier's late, and the meeting that was supposed to fix photo documentation turns into a scheduling scramble. The slow months remove that excuse. And your off-season is not everyone's. Upper Midwest, it's deep winter. Desert Southwest, peak summer heat is the true off-peak. Schedule the 4-week loop into your real dip. Before you train anything, set the boundary. Decide what your off-season training is and what it is not. This sounds like paperwork. It's what keeps you out of trouble. Name a training owner. In a 2-crew shop that's you, wearing a production hat. That owner decides which roles get which modules, which topics need a qualified instructor, and what stays supervisor only. Here's the line. A sign-in sheet is not a permission slip. A worker who watched a steep slope walkthrough is not cleared for every steep roof. Write down what the session covers and what still needs a go-ahead. Move 1. Mine last season's job files for the real training map. Don't open a catalog and pick topics that sound responsible. Open your own job folders and find the friction. Pull 10 to 15 finished jobs, clean ones and rough ones. Read each the way a stranger would. Where did the crew have to call in for something the packet should have answered? Keep it factual, never personal. The question is never who screwed up the Henderson job. It's what the Henderson file failed to make clear. That turns your best people from defendants into diagnosticians. Out of that review, build 1 artifact, a training map. A short table tying every training need to real evidence, an owner, a format, and a follow-up check. 3 jobs started with missing scope notes. 4 field calls about deck rot. That's the evidence column, and it stops you overtraining, because a topic with no evidence behind it doesn't earn a spot on the February calendar. Separate the one-off from the pattern. A homeowner who moved the gate once is noise. 4 jobs in a row hitting deck rot with no agreed process is a signal. Train on signals. Move 2. Refresh safety and hazard recognition before the busy schedule hides it. Roofing stays one of the most dangerous trades, and falls drive it. Falls, slips, and trips remain a leading cause of construction deaths, so start with the standard. OSHA requires fall protection at 6 feet or more on an open edge, trained by a competent person, refreshed when conditions or equipment change. A crew back from a months-long layoff with new faces is a changed condition. The off-season move isn't to reteach that standard from a podium. It's to walk your own field process and route the formal pieces to qualified trainers. Heat gets its own slot because the planning has to happen before the heat arrives. OSHA's heat guidance centers on water, rest, and shade, and on easing in workers who've been away. The widely cited rule of thumb, crews need roughly 7 to 14 days of gradual exposure to adapt safely. New and returning workers ramp slowly. So write a heat plan now. Hydration cadence, scheduled breaks, shade, a ramp for returning crews, and 1 supervisor who owns the daily heat call. Decided in winter, and it's muscle memory by summer. Move 3. Drill the handoff until packets stop generating calls. A large share of Springfield problems aren't skill problems. They're handoff problems. The estimator knows what was sold. The office knows what was scheduled. The crew lead knows what got said on the roof. The homeowner assumes all 3 talked. They usually didn't. Run a packet drill. Put a real anonymized packet in front of the people who run jobs in spring. Give them 10 minutes cold, then have each one brief the job as if they started tomorrow. Every gap you hear is a future field call, caught in a warm room. Then turn the drill into a standard. A pre-start packet checklist so every job starts from the same baseline. Property, address, gate code, parking, point of contact. Scope. What's included, what's excluded, detached structures in or out, known unknowns flagged, photos labeled, context, detail, access limits, materials, products, colors, accessories, who verifies the load, process, change order rule, weather stop rule, closeout. Here's the tell. If 3 crew leads misread the same packet the same way, the crew leads aren't the problem. The template is. Fix the document, not the people, and the next version answers questions before they become calls. Move 4. Cross-train backups without erasing who owns the call. Every roofing company has a single point of failure it pretends it doesn't. The one foreman who knows the hard customers and the supplier reps. When that person is out, production stutters. But done carelessly, cross-training blurs accountability until everyone assumes someone else made the call, and nobody did. So build a role matrix. Name a primary owner and a backup for every task that can stall a job. Then train the action and the limit together. The backup can collect photos, catch a mismatched load, and call the supervisor. It does not approve a substitution, alter the contract, or waive a safety rule. Give the progression 3 honest levels so trained actually means something. Observe. Can explain the task after watching a qualified person. Assist. Can help under direction and ask the right questions. Lead with review. Can run the task within company limits. Supervisor checking. That's an internal readiness record. It is not a certification, full stop, unless the worker earned a recognized credential through a qualified program. The National Roofing Contractors Association runs structured onboarding and skill assessments. Use the off-season to find who needs the formal track, then schedule it. Don't let a checklist masquerade as a credential. Move 5 ties the first 4 together. Rehearse the first 24 hours of a spring job before the calendar fills. Pick 2 or 3 of your most common job types. A 1-day repair, a full replacement, a service callback. Walk each one out loud, end to end. Who confirms the material is staged? Who makes the day before call? Who flags the power line on access? Who notices when the closeout photos never arrive? Whoever's free is a hole in your process showing for free. And keep it honest. If the rehearsal only hits its targets when someone skips a photo, fix the process, not the documentation. End every rehearsal with a written adjustment list, because that's the payoff. Packet has no access field? Add a required access line. Change order owner unclear? Name the production manager in writing. If an adjustment never reaches a template, it never happened. And measure without inventing it. Cuts rework 30%, add 6 figures. Those numbers are usually made up, and if they leak into a sales deck, you're making a claim you can't back. The Federal Trade Commission is clear that performance claims need real substantiation. Track the practical indicators instead, and let them pick your next session. Here's where RoofPredict fits and where it doesn't. The file review only works if your records are good enough to read. RoofPredict holds property context, an estimated roof age range, storm history, photos, and follow-up status on one per home record, so pulling the patterns that build a training map gets faster. It does not inspect a roof, certify a worker, or replace the supervisor judgment that decides what to train. Roof age is a planning range, not a date. Build the map from your own jobs. Fix your own templates, name your own owners. 4 small finished weeks beat 1 big abandoned one.